wife and I, we ended up going to Beijing for a little vacation. I wanted to see the Great Wall. And it's the first time I was in China. And I think about China as communist China, overbearing, steal your money, tell you what to do kind of a thing. And so, you know, I love talking to people there, getting the feel for it. And I was surprised to find out that you can just start a business there. And you can just grow that business. And yes, you owe taxes. And so I wanted to find out about the tax code. And I started asking them, you know, how much they pay in taxes personally, business-wise. And then I had to do some research on it. And sure enough, even China needs their people to invest into technology. And even in communist China, if you invest into technology, they give you tax depreciation, tax breaks, and things like that. So it's not always one for one, but it's very similar for my international audience. What happens is, again, I can invest in these things, I can take the depreciation, and a lot of times I can take 100% of that in year one. Now, sometimes I get more back than when I invested, because not only do I get depreciation, I get tax credits on top of it. Now, where this really starts to become magic, if you put the strategy together, is we add in one more layer, and we call that OPM. You know what OPM is? We call that other people's money. You see, again, tax write-offs, I spent the dollar, and sure, I don't pay tax on it, but I don't have it. I can buy an asset and get tax depreciation, but I still have to spend the money. What I want is to get paid without having to spend the money. And I do that by using other people's money, right? I don't have to use my own money for this. So there's multiple ways. I'm going to go through some real examples for you, but typically I can finance the asset. There's financing available. I can get a loan, a line of credit. I could borrow against some other assets I already own. The key here is that I still get full depreciation on the total purchase price, whether I spent the money or not. Let me break this down. So if I bought an asset, let's say it's $150,000 in assets, but I didn't spend it. I borrowed the $150,000, but I still get the whole $150,000 to write off anyway, even though I didn't spend the money, I borrowed the money. Now, the tax refund, it comes back. In many cases, I could get a refund. Maybe I can go back and apply it to previous years. I could carry it forward into other years. There's a bunch of ways, and it depends on what the actual depreciation play that we have. But the way that I like to do this the most is I like to borrow against other assets. I always want to borrow to invest, right? That way I can get all the money back. I get the full tax break. And a lot of times, the money that I get back pays for the asset itself. It could pay all the loan payments that are due on that loan, and it can pay for itself just on its own. Okay, so now exactly how do you do this, right? We're using tax depreciation and tax credits. Now, this is not an exhaustive list. There's more ways that you can do this than I could sit here and talk about. You wouldn't want to sit here and watch me talk about it that long. Nor am I an expert in all of them. But here's 4 that I'm going to give you that are examples that I've personally used, okay?